And good afternoon, Muskegon. And it is May 20th, 2022. Hi. You know what time it is. It's torn in two. I tell you, well, I'm so excited. If you're listening to the radio station, or the radio stations, or and would like to get involved and ask this man questions, please go to our Facebook sites at WUVS 103.7 The Beat or M106. Also, if you are driving and would like to see the shows replay themselves. Get the emoji app as well, and you can catch everything. Also, we are on YouTube. Our co-host, and how you doing? One of the twins,
My
Pastor
brother,
Melvin Burns. How you doing,
I'm doing great. It's good to see you, man. I'm excited about today's show.
dude? Dude,
Oh man, I'm excited.
dude. We people. When I say that we have a heavy hitter on today, um, his bio and his background is so extensive that we might have to do a part two. Matter of fact, I know that
Yeah.
we're going to have to do a part two. Our guest today is Mr. Teddy Astin. Now, he started out in the warehouse at Warner Brothers. Well, actually, it goes more than that. We this month we have been talking about making things happen, making big things happen, not
Yes.
waiting for things to happen, making things happen. And this man is the epitome of not waiting back and making things happen. What do you think, Pastor Burns?
I think if you need some inspiration, some encouragement, you want to listen today.
Now, what I need you to do is share this message. Don't wait. And matter of fact, if you got kids that want to go in the music business, if you have kids that talk about the music business, here's a man that was in the music business when it was music. I'm talking about when it was music. Um, I just don't know where to start, but to just start the interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, put your hands together for our guest, Mr. Teddy Astin. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing just great, Gregory. First of all, Gregory Roberts, I'd like to thank you for having me on your show today and with your wonderful co host, Pastor Burns. Thank you guys for inviting me on your show today. It's indeed a pleasure.
Listen, as I was telling people, what an extensive background. I mean, awards from President Biden to you have worked with every artist eh, that I admire,
Yes.
love. You started in humble beginnings, but if you look at some of the people that you have worked with, it is just, I mean, Quincy Jones, Miles Davis, Vanity Six, Sheila E., Prince, Morris Day, the Isley Brothers, George Benson's, Earl Clue, Bob James, Foreplay, Club Nouveau, the Force MDs. Oh my gosh, the list has gone. Okay, so let me calm down. Tell us your story. How did it begin?
Okay, well, thank you again so very much for having me on your show today. And good afternoon, everyone that's listening within the sound of our voices. My name is Teddy Astin, Astin. And I have a new book out. The book is entitled A Golden Past and a Platinum Future. This is my book here. Hopefully you can see it there. And it's
Mhm.
available on my website. We have a website just for the book. The book's website, and we'll give it again before we go. The book's
Mhm.
website is toughact.net.
Mhm.
TOUGHACT.net. That's a very easy email address or website to remember. All you got to do is say, boy, that's a tough act to follow. toughat.net, TOUGHACT.net. The title of my book is A Golden Past and a Platinum Future. A Golden Past and a Platinum Future. So that's the title of my book. And again, like you said, Mr. Roberts, I work with some of the greatest artists in the world. And you did mention a lot of them, but if you don't mind, if you'll allow me just to kind of go over this list
Please.
that I work with, I gave Prince his first promotional tour, which is in the book. The book has over 60 chapters, but these are artists that I work with, ladies and gentlemen. Prince, Morris Day and the Time, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Vanity Six, Sheila E., Zap featuring Roger, Madonna, Quincy Jones, Miles Davis, Tevin Campbell, James Ingram, Patty Austin, Bob Marley, Sly Stone, Larry Graham, Donna Summer, Sylvester, Shaka Khan, Ashford and Simpson, George Clinton, the Funkadelics, Lucy's Rubber Band, Rod Stewart, Ice T, Biz Marquis, Big Daddy Kane, Bob James, Foreplay featuring Bob James, Lee Ritenour, Nathan East, and Harvey Mason. Al Jarreau, David Sanborn, the Isley Brothers, Joe Sample, Rose Royce, Frankie Beverly, Jennifer Holliday, Keith Washington, Atlantic Star, Jasmine Guy, the Force MDs, Club Nouveau, the Tom Tom Club, and many others, just to name a few. And
Yeah,
the good thing
just reading that list, I get excited.
the good thing about it is 95% of the artists that was on the Warner Brothers label, we developed them from scratch. Okay.
Okay.
When the veteran artists saw what we were doing and the artists that we were developing, the veteran artists wanted to come to Warner Brothers. After we got established, we got this dream machine rolling. Sly Stone came over to Warner Brothers when Sly and the Family Stone broke up. Larry Graham was Sly Stone's bass player. Sly Stone followed Larry Graham over to Warner Brothers after he saw what we did with One in a Million. Okay, Shaka Khan came over to Warner Brothers when she went solo from Rufus. You see how we developed her career as a solo artist. Miles Davis came over to Warner Brothers when he saw all the success we were having with artists like Al Jarreau, Bob James, Earl Klugh. You know, he came over to Warner Brothers. In fact, in my book, and I got photos of all of these historical events and me and the artists and everything. But the thing about it is that we set the stage. If you allow me to digress back a little bit, I started working for Warner Brothers in the warehouse. In the warehouse because I needed a job and a change because I'm like at that time I'm like 18 years old and man, couldn't stay out of trouble, trying to work, trying to help my mom out, single parent and everything. You know, I was fortunate enough because I had a friend that was working for our sister label. Warner Brothers is like a corporation, Time Warner, Warner Brothers, that consisted of a corporation called WEA, WEA, Warner Brothers, Elektra, and Atlantic Records. Those are the WEA. That's the definition for WEA, Time Warner Communications, the music division of Warner, because Time Warner is so diversified. You know, all you got to do is think of Bugs Bunny. Take it from there. That's guy. Need I say more? But Warner Brothers TV, Warner Brothers Movies, Warner Brothers Records, and so on and so on. So I got a job working in the warehouse. A friend of mine was working for Atlantic Records. Him and Gladys Knight grew up in the same neighborhood. And he was instrumental in Gladys Knight recording her first record, Every Beat of My Heart. He got me a job working in the warehouse. Man, I worked in the warehouse for a couple of years at 200,000 square foot of office and warehouse space of nothing but records, 45s, 8-tracks, 78s, So that's
78.
Yeah, movies, Warner Brothers movies. Yeah, and that was during the time that they were phasing the 78s out. But the album was big time then, man, and cassette. 8-tracks, then cassettes, then compact discs and CDs. That's just how the industry, the music industry involved over the years.
Okay.
And we were right in the thick of it. And by me working in the warehouse, that familiarized me with every format of music: country and
Okay.
western, rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, pop. And some of my favorite artists are rock and roll artists as well.
Mhm.
Fleetwood
Hmm.
Mac, the
Oh,
Eagles.
true.
We crossed Rod Stewart over to the black audience. When we signed
Oh,
Madonna, she sounded so black that our white counterparts didn't even work the record. Madonna was broken by the black music staff. Three
okay.
albums later, they jumped on the bandwagon, and the rest is history. So
Okay.
I'm working in the warehouse 2 years. Then the position becomes available in the mailroom. And the old story goes like, "Hey, Teddy went from the mailroom to the Warner Brothers boardroom." That's
Okay.
that's what people always say. He went from the mailroom to the boardroom. So I go to the mailroom, and the mailroom was in chaos at the time because you're responsible for all the inner reactions of all the mail coming in and going out. But the main purpose of that mailroom is to make sure that every radio station get every record, to get the record for the format of their radio station.
Hmm.
And they were the previous predecessor. They were just sending stuff out, so I had to go in there and get it organized
Okay.
and categorized. And man, the program directors at these radio stations was calling and Warner Brothers and said, "Thank God, we're finally getting the records for our radio station. Who's
Okay.
doing
Right.
this? How did you do it?" That's Teddy. We
Okay.
just promoted him out of the warehouse.
So you
So
started making a
during,
name for yourself there.
yeah, now I'm in the system. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
now they're hearing about me.
All
So,
right.
so during that time, black music was selling off the chart, but Warner Brothers had no black artists on their roster.
Mm.
Warner Brothers was considered a rock and roll record label. They had Jimi Hendrix doing rock and roll, Marshall Tucker Band, the Doobie Brothers, a slew of Emmylou Harris, a slew of country western and rock and roll artists.
And
So
it's not like those are slouches that you just
oh,
mentioned either.
oh
Right.
no, they developed them in the superstar. And let me go back a little step further. Quincy Jones Association with Warner Brothers. We had a sister label called Reprise Records.
Okay. I
And
remember.
Reprise Records consisted of Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat
Come
Pack.
on.
The Rat Pack.
Come
So the
on.
Rat Pack
Okay.
merged over with Warner Brothers, and their manager, Mo Austin, came to work to be the chairman of Warner Brothers Records. So that we got so during the rock and roll, they merged with the Rat Pack.
Okay.
And I mean, like you said, all of those are still superstars, regardless of the format.
Right.
So, but that was a missing piece of the puzzle, and they didn't have any black artists, nor did
Mm.
they have a black staff to build an artist roster. So I'm
Okay.
in the warehouse. Warner Brothers is like, "Okay, we got to get into the black music business here. We missing out on a lot of money." And Tom Draper, who was the head, they hired Tom Draper, the first black music executive at Warner Brothers. He's in my book. I do a great tribute to him as well. I call him the
Mm.
godfather. He was the godfather of black music for Warner Brothers. So
Okay.
Tom Draper comes over. He puts together a black music staff. And hey, he called me up and said, "Teddy, I got the last position with Warner Brothers. They
Okay.
went all around the country hiring the best people that they could find. New York, LA, Philadelphia, Detroit, Miami, Dallas. They went around the country, and so there was only two positions left. The two positions that was left was Miami and Carolinas, based in
Mm.
Charlotte. They said, "Teddy, we got two positions left. What position would you like? Which city would you like to live in?" I'm thinking, I'm a young, uh, I'm aggressive. I want to move up, but at the same time, I ain't thinking straight. Not in reality. They said, "What city do you want to live in, Teddy?" I said, "Well, Charlotte, Miami. I think I'd like to live in Miami. I'd like to work in Miami." They said, "Why?" All the wrong reasons.
That-
All the wrong reasons. Why would you like to, Teddy, why would you like to live in Miami? Wow, well, it's close to Cuba. I had never been to Cuba. It's only 90 miles away. I like Jamaica. I like the Bahamas. And man, the beach.
You didn't say nothing about work. You ain't mentioned nothing about work yet, huh?
We didn't talk about work. They say, okay, we're going to send you to Charlotte. You ain't going to Miami. You like too much down there. And so, but they was really looking after a young 21-year-old man then.
Mhm.
And as wild as Miami was, that was not the right fit for me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, George running wild, running wild, you know, I mean, wasn't the best. Plus, it was a blessing for me that they chose Charlotte, North Carolina, because that's where I met my wife for 42 years.
Nice.
Okay.
You know? So, and as soon as I get to Charlotte, before I left the mailroom, the last album that I mailed out was Candy State and Young Hearts Run Free. The first record that I get to work when I get to Charlotte was Candy State.
Okay.
And we took it to #1. That was our first #1 record. Candy State on the black side. Candy State and Your Hearts Run Free. That was the first black. I mean, and we just developed one artist after another, one after another. So that was, you know, once we got started, we cranked up that Warner Brothers machine. We were like the record label of the year. I was promotion man of the year 5 years, five times. That's just with Warner Brothers, and I was the MVP. All of those awards, including my MVP award, is in the book as well. I have over 50 gold and platinum albums. All of those albums are in the book. So when and the good thing about going to the website, the toughAct.net website, is because you'll be able to see all of the gold and platinum albums that I have. You'll be able to read the table of contents. You'll be able to read more about me, Teddy. Who am I? You'll be able to know who I am, who I work with, the things that I've done, the things that I've accomplished. So it's a very extensive book in detail. I kept my photos over the years, and the photos you see in the book look like they were taken yesterday. I had them all digitized, you know, and I had a great editor to work with me to keep things in perspective. I had a great graphic artist to put all of those photos and help organize all of those stories in the book. And so I just had a great team to do this, you know, because when COVID hit, you know, people have always been telling me, Teddy, because they would see all of these photos of artists that I used to work with on my social media, like Facebook, okay? Yeah, Teddy, you need to write a book, man. You need to write a book, man. You got all these historical photos. I'm like, yeah. So when COVID hit, I also have a real estate business called TLA Real Estate Consulting, and that's where we help struggling homeowners preserve generational wealth through their home and avoid foreclosure. And you know, that's a whole nother topic in itself. But people said, Teddy, you need to write a book. So when COVID hit, things kind of slowed down. And when I started going through, because all of my gold records and platinum records, I didn't really have them placed properly. You know, I had a few out at my home that that's a few of my favorite artists. I would put them, you know, but not what you see in the book.
Wait, Teddy. Are you the sixth man of the Boston Celtics? I mean, is it anything that you haven't done? Let me go to the boards real quick.
Okay.
Marianne Zultz, there she is. We ain't seen her in a while. She says, "Is there anything that this man ain't seen?" Woo, child. He did. He did the thing.
Well, I still got a few things on the bucket list.
Okay.
You know, just to be able to live my platinum future. You know what I mean?
All right.
But
That
I
sounds
still
good.
consult a few artists here and there, but
Okay.
not to take up the majority of my time.
Okay.
I don't take on any projects that I don't feel comfortable with. But that's a great question, and I appreciate that caller
Um,
question.
let's 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 talk about the humble beginnings. You talked a little bit, but I mean, you started out as a paper boy, basically in the country.
Yes. Started out I was 6 years old. I was the paper boy in Palmetto, Georgia. Palmetto, Georgia, because as a kid, we lived in Fayetteville, Union City, Fairburn, and Palmetto. Those was kind of moving around, and
Mhm.
those were considered little country towns at the time,
Okay.
and now they're all part of the suburbs. And we were living in Palmetto at the time, even though I'm from Atlanta. And Atlantas have a very distinguished history, especially when you're born in Atlanta and you're a Grady baby. I don't know if you
Mm,
guys ever heard of that term, but that's born in Atlanta because you got so many trances here in Atlanta. You
Okay.
know what I mean? In and out, you
right,
don't know where people from. But when you
Yes.
say you're a Grady baby, that means like, hey, that's a real man now. Real
Okay.
lady that
all
is.
right.
They from here. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay.
But as the paper boy, and as a paper boy, I was responsible. In fact, I was responsible to help him build the paper route in Palmetto.
Okay.
So, and we're talking about 1961, around that era
So
there.
we're talking about a segregation area.
Very, very segregated town, little country town, and I was just so one day I'm walking downtown, white guy approaches me and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a paper boy. Would you like to be my paper boy?" I backed up a little bit and said, I'm like, kind of checking him out and say, you want me to be the paper boy? You need to talk to my mama. She says it's okay, then we can work it out. I said, how much you pay? He said 50 cents a day. I said, if she says okay, I'll do it for $1 a day. And he said, okay, let's see what your mama says. so so he goes to my mom, and my mom says, okay, she got his information and probably had seen him around town. So she said it's okay. So basically, we start the paper route. The paper delivery truck used to come from Atlanta all the way through those little towns before they get to Palmetto, drop the paper off at the train station. Now, I'm 6 years old. I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, walking to the train depot to
In the
help the
60s.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm walking at 4:35 in the morning to the
Uh-huh.
train depot to
Wow.
help the route manager put the inserts into the paper, and so we could roll them up, put a rubber band around them so it'd be easy for me to bam, 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 bam,
Uh-huh.
pop them papers out. So there was a service station across the street that I had to keep those newspaper machines filled up too, called Bradley Service Station. Now, Bradley Service Station had a white water fountain and a white laundromat in the front, had a black water fountain in the back, and a black laundromat in the back. So I kind of knew that anyway, because we didn't have no wash and dry, so we had to wash our clothes up there too. You
Mhm.
Hmm.
know, so so me being responsible for keeping the newspaper machines at the service station filled up every day, then I got kind of comfortable, and I already knew the lay of the land. I knew the difference between black and white water fountain. But by me filling the water paper machines up every day, I would see the white water fountain over there, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get me some of that white water. I'm getting me some of that white water. So every day, plus I kind of start hanging around the service station too, because I had a little change in my pocket. I buy some
Uh-huh.
potato chips, payday, make away candy bars, get me a soda. Man, I'm taking money out the paper machine and buying me drinks and sodas and candy. So it was like I had a budget. So About 3 or 4 days later, I finally made my way over there to the white water fountain. And I started drinking. And I started slurping. And I'm looking around, cars pulling in the service station, like pointing at me and everything. The white mechanic looked out the garage booth and like, oh my God, Mr. Bradley, do you see what Teddy's doing? He's drinking out the white water fountain. And every day when I would look over at the water fountain, Mr. Bradley, be pumping gas in cars or helping customers, he'd look over there and he would give me the side eye, but he would never say nothing. So I finally make my way to the white water fountain. I'm slurping water. He runs up. I said, Bradley, do you see what Teddy's doing? Mr. Bradley didn't say nothing. He was a little greasy monkey looking self. I mean, he's a grease ball, grease all over himself.
Right.
He goes back into the garage and finish fixing on the car. So I'm like, ooh, okay. So the next day in school, everybody like, oh, the principal, the teachers, the parents, the kids. Because down there, it was like one school, 1 through 12. Wasn't no elementary, middle, and high school. One school. Next day in school, everybody like, did you hear what Teddy did? Oh, what Teddy did? He drank out the white water fountain. They're like, oh my God. What did Mr. Bradley say? He didn't say nothing. Well, what's up with Teddy? He stole the paper boy.
Wow.
Because not only did I keep the paper machines filled up at his service station, I also delivered the papers to his house and all of his relatives' house. So they kind of knew me.
Okay.
All right, Teddy, take us from the station being the paper boy to
Okay.
working
I'm
with
sorry.
Prince.
Okay. All right. So that was along with Candace State, I think Prince was probably my next big project. Prince is signed to Warner Brothers. 18 years old.
18.
Totally unheard of. When he brought the album to Warner Brothers, he wrote all the songs. He played all the instruments. He produced it. He engineered it. He brought it on a silver platter. And a couple other record labels had turned him down.
Is that right?
RSO record, they had the Disco Duck and the BG.
They were gonna ride the duck.
You remember the Disco Duck? The Disco Duck, the BG. They're like, this Prince sound. I wish y'all luck with. That's what they told Prince and his people. I wish y'all luck. This ain't for us. Because the BGs,
wow.
they were hard. All of those artists that was in that era, that they were only focusing on that format of music. So when Warner Brothers got it, they're like, "Ooh, Lord," and they, did he produce it? He wrote all the songs. He played all the instruments. He engineered the album. Wow, we got to have him. So they signed into Warner Brothers. And once they signed into Warner Brothers, I'm listening because Warner Brothers used to send the staff out music on test pressing. They call them acetates, but they would send music to us on albums with no names on them. I guess to see if we would listen to our music. You know what I mean? Just to get feedback. So I'm home one day and I'm listening to Prince album and I'm like, oh my God, who is this? This is the freshest music I've ever heard. I called the home office, like, who is this artist singing soft and wet? They said, that's an artist we signed named Prince, by the name of Prince. Well, I'd like to get him in Charlotte to do a promotional tour. Teddy, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk, man. And it probably would do more harm than good to bring him, when, you can't do interviews and stuff if you don't talk. I said, look, I got this. They said, okay, well, okay. What do you need, Teddy? to pull this off. So it was around Thanksgiving weekend, okay?
Uh-huh.
So 2 weeks before, well, we're about a month out, but about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I had this idea of, look, it's Thanksgiving weekend. We could do a food drive for the food banks and the needy. And the only way that you can get, we at this radio station in Charlotte called WGIV. So that's where the whole event took place. If you want to get Prince autograph, all you got to do is bring 2 non-perishable cans of food. So they're like, well, what do you need to pull this off, Teddy? I said, well, I'm going to need 50 albums for every black radio station in North and South Carolina. Prince weekend, Prince Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
And I want my friend Slack here at WGIB to cut the spot that I'm going to run on all of these radio stations so everybody hear the same message.
That's good.
So this is all over the North and South Carolina. Plus, this ain't just North and South Carolina, because if you're on the top end of North Carolina, you're bleeding over into Tennessee, part of Louisiana. You're in the south part. You're going, so you're sitting there, goes to Florida, and I mean all over the place. So,
Okay.
but I was concerned about my market, North and South Carolina. I want 50 albums. I need 1860s for each radio station to do a Prince weekend. And the message is Prince is going to be in Charlotte Thanksgiving weekend. And if you want to get his autograph, you got to bring at least 2 cans of non-perishable food. So they're like, well, so what do you need to pull this off? I said, I need 2 tractor trailers. What? 2 tractor trailers for what? We're going to have so much food, we got to have some place to put it. They got the 50 albums per radio station, 1860s per radio station. 1860 was like about almost $20,000 back then, man. That's a lot of money. Back then. Okay, we did that. So, long story short, Thanksgiving Day, Prince of WGIB. Everybody's bringing not just 2 cans of food, they're bringing box loads of food, carloads of food to get Prince autograph, because they want to know who he is. Is he black? Is he white? Is he short? Is he tall? Is he straight? Is he gay? What is it? What is it? But we love soft and wet, and we love this album, so we need to get a piece of that. So, man, we just for that advertise. It's the biggest traffic jam I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I-85 is closed down.
What?
Trying to get to the station. Wow. I-77 is closed down. Brookshire Freeway is closed down.
Wow.
Damn. People trying to get to Charlotte to see Prince and get his autograph and drop off their food. So, man, after about an hour and a half of that, the state patrol pulls up to the radio station. What is the world is going on here? Well, I have Prince here. Well, who's in charge? Prince who? Nobody told us that a prince would be in town. Nobody told the governor or the mayor or the state patrol. We have to know when these things are going on. Where's the royal entourage? I said the king and the queen is at the hotel, and we didn't want to create too much of a disturbance. So the king and the queen and the royal entourage at the hotel. So I just brought the prince over.
Okay.
Okay. Next time you're doing something like that, you gotta let us know. I said, yes, sir, yes, sir. So he stays there. They got state patrol out there directing traffic and stuff. So about 5 or 6 o'clock rolls down. We winding down. We trying to get out of there. But when I met Prince at the airport in Charlotte, he said, Teddy, what you want me to do? I said, well, here's the itinerary. I said, we're going to do this, then we're going to go to the store, do an in-store. We're going to do this food drive. After the food drive, we're going to do a radio interview. He said, okay. He said, I can do that. He said, I just have one favor. I just have one request. I said, what's your request? He said, after we finish all of this, after the station food drive, Thanksgiving, can we go see Superman? Sure, let's go see Superman. Because, all the big blockbuster movies come out around the holidays.
Right.
And that was like Superman, like maybe Superman 3.
Uh-huh.
He was a big Superman fan.
Okay.
So all he wanted to do is just go to school. Hey, I do this. Can you take me to see Superman?
Oh
Yeah,
man.
can we do
Is
that?
that- is that-
And the state patrol escorted us to the movie theater at Charlottetown Mall.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Pastor Burns, go ahead.
Wow, that's so.
And the photo of Prince, I got a couple of photos with Prince in the book, but that first photo in the book was that promotional tour, his first promotional tour,
Wow.
very first, and that's his first public photo as an artist
Really?
signed to Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Yes, the black and white photo in the book. Yeah,
Wow. Great,
with
This
great
Great
is
Prince.
story.
it's
That's a
two.
great
It
story.
is 2:36. You're listening to Touring in Two. We have this guest, Mr. Teddy Astin, worked for Warner Brothers. Next question is going to Pastor Melvin Burns.
Teddy, and God, I love your story of, even start from a paper boy, but did you, when you got in the mailroom or the warehouse, did you have an executive in mind, or were you just, just driving straight ahead as you were in your younger days?
Well, I've always had a love for music.
Okay.
I think my first love for music was country and western because the route manager, I knew more about the paper route than the route managers.
Okay.
But the route managers, when we riding in the car to the next stop, they always listen to country and western music.
Okay.
Twang, 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 twang. And I was
Okay.
twanging too. We all be in the car just singing Conway Twitty,
Right.
Hank Williams Jr. So that was kind of like my first love for music. I've always loved music.
There's
So-
a tear in my bed. You were
There you
always
go.
on my mind.
Always on my mind. I've always loved music. So when I started working for Warner Brothers in the warehouse, I said, all this music, man, every format of music. In the distribution center, we were distributing records for 3 labels: Warner Brothers, Elektra, and Atlantic.
Okay.
Man, and so just to be around that music, you just kind of soak it all in.
Okay.
So moving on to the mailroom is a bigger responsibility of making sure that every radio station gets the music for their formats, so they can compete, and not have to run to the store beg, or why I didn't get this. I heard this on this station, why I didn't have it. So, but as I got closer to the source, going into the mailroom, and when Warner Brothers decided, look, we got to get into the black music business. We got to get into it heavy with both feet. We got to go around the country and hire the best people we can find, no matter what. So when I went to Charlotte, plus, if I could back up for a second, see, my friend that helped Gladys Knight record her first record, Every Beat of My Heart, Charles Gear, he was working for Atlantic Records. So he used to take me around with him over the weekends and holidays to concerts of their artists. And I already knew what a promotion man responsibilities was.
Okay.
So Charles always said, he said, when Teddy becomes the promotion man, he's going to be the best promotion man you guys ever seen because I taught him.
Okay.
He taught me. So I knew. So when this Warner Brothers staff was put together, I hit the ground running while everybody else was trying to figure out,
Okay.
the market and what to do and everything. So that is and I took promotion from what he taught me, and I took it to a whole nother level. I took it to the stratosphere. Nobody's never done the kind of promotions that I've done with Warner Brothers or with the artists that I worked with over the years.
Okay.
50 gold records plus, right?
Yeah, gold and platinum.
Gold and platinum. Well, you named so many artists. Give us some stories of some of your. I know it's. I don't want to put you on the spot,
Okay.
but how about some of your favorites and some stories?
I'll give you one. I'll give you a couple of them. As long as we have time, as long as time allows.
We got 20 minutes.
I'll start first with Sly Stone, okay?
Okay.
Sly and the Family Stone had broken up. Sly Stone is looking for a new home. He comes to Warner Brothers. He brings us an album because Sly came over there. Larry Graham was his bass player.
Right.
And when they broke up, Larry Graham came to Warner Brothers, and we took Larry Graham platinum with "One in a Million You" album. So
Mm.
Great
Sly,
album.
right?
Top 10, one of my
Yeah,
top 10. Yeah.
yeah. So Sly comes to Warner Brothers, but Sly's music sounded like something that was made years before, cuts that never made the album.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so basically, he brought Warner Brothers an album that sounded outdated,
Mm.
Hmm.
but they,
Okay.
reputations last Stone, they signed him. So I'm back in Atlanta by then, and Warner Brothers, we're on a conference call. Warner Brothers is like, we need to send Sly Stone out on the road on a promotional tour. He signed with Warner Brothers, and we put a whole lot of money into this album. Who wants to have Sly Stone in the market?
Mm.
Only one.
Is that right?
Only one.
Wow.
Wow.
Nobody else wanted him because
Uh-huh.
they wasn't sure because basically, see, when you got an artist coming to a market, you're setting up interviews with radio station interviews. You're doing
Hmm.
in-store appearances. You're setting up interviews for the press. You're taking them on in-store appearances. You're taking them to nightclubs. That's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But Sly Stone, nobody was sure whether he was over his issues. He had a lot of demons,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
drug issues. So that's why
Exactly.
nobody else wanted him in the market. But
Hmm.
me, I was more concerned about working with Sly the Legend
I see.
than I was
Right.
about Sly's album because I knew the album was a dog, but I knew I wanted to work with this legend,
Hmm.
you know?
Okay.
And so I'd love to have Sly in Atlanta on a promotional tour. So he gets to Atlanta, eyes are clear as
Mm.
clear as as they could be. Teddy,
Okay.
what you need me to do? Here's the itinerary. Anything you need me to do. He did everything I needed him to do to the T.
Mm.
Okay. People was ecstatic to meet Sly Stone. In fact, in the book, you'll see me and Sly Stone on his last promotional tour in
No.
Atlanta. In the book, yeah.
Okay.
So so we on a 3-day promotional tour. I'm taking him back to the hotel. He's got a 6 o'clock flight the next morning, 6 or 7 o'clock flight the next morning. He say, Teddy, hey man, I appreciate everything. Would you like to come up to my suite? So we can I'd like to talk to you a little bit more. Sure, I'd be happy to. We go up to the suite, I order some champagne and some dessert. We just kind of talking. He said, man, he said, I just want to tell you, I just want to thank you.
Mm.
He said, Prince told me what you did for him.
Mm.
He
Mm.
said, I had forgotten how good it feels to be important again.
Mm.
Wow.
Everybody was, and plus he was on, he was on time for everything. He was on his game,
Mm.
and he's like, and everybody's just take a picture with Sly Stone. Are you kidding me? So he's like, man, he said, Prince, tell me what you did for him. I hope you could do the same thing for me because I know everybody knows your reputation.
Mm.
And that was his last promotional tour.
Mm.
Wow.
Another story.
Had to,
Bob Marley.
Let me ask you one question.
oh,
Sure.
Now you said your reputation. I want to ask you because you mentioned being a fan of music, but what was your reputation? I mean, obviously your name gets around. What would you say you've had a chance to reflect from your book? What was your reputation?
hold on, Teddy. Let me go. We have from Benita. It's a family affair. Yes.
Yes.
Sly was definitely ahead of his time.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Okay. You get the question. Sorry to
No, no.
interrupt you.
No, well, basically, I I've always had this the vision that was always beyond what anybody else was thinking about, especially when it comes to promoting and marketing music.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So every artist on the roster always wanted to come and work with me because when they
Okay.
knew they was coming to work with me, they was going to get the best exposure nationally that they would ever get from working with anyone else on the staff. You know, I got a Patty Austin promotion I did there. That's in the book where Patty Austin did an album called "Getting Away with Murder." So she comes to town. Well, Patty Austin was on Quincy Jones' label. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
Patty was on Quincy Jones' label. Patty Austin, James Ingram, and Tevin Campbell.
Tevin Campbell.
So Patty comes to get an album out called "Getting Away with Murder." She wants to come to Atlanta, be with Teddy Astin. So long story short, Getting Away with Murder. We do all the things that I said we did with Sly and all the other artists. So we're at the nightclub in Atlanta. The world famous nightclub was called Mr. V's Figure Eight in Atlanta. So so as we're leaving the club, 2 or 3 in the morning, I got 2 of my friends from the police department waiting in the lobby. So as we're leaving the lobby, they said, "Patty Austin." "Yes." "Are you Patty Austin?" "Yes, I am." "Did you do an album called Getting Away with Murder?" "Yes, I did." "Well, you're not getting away with murder in Atlanta. Hold your hands up." They handcuffed. It's in the book. It's handcuffed. They published the photo in Jet magazine.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it's in the book. Yeah. So
Wow.
so when Quincy Jones sees the photo, because Jet magazine was like the black folks' Bible.
Oh
You
yes.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And she's in the Atlanta with handcuffs on, you getting away with murder. You ain't getting away with murder in Atlanta. So Quincy sees the publicity photo in Jet magazine, and he calls me and says, "Ted, I've seen some great promotion. This tops them all here." But I could tell you stories about James Ingram was like a brother to me. Tevin Campbell, I think he was only 15 when he signed with Warner Brothers.
Yeah. How was that working with Tevin Campbell being so young?
It worked out for Tevin had a great voice.
Great voice.
Crystal clear voice.
Yes.
He had a few indiscretions later in his career, but I've always been a big fan of Tevin Campbell. And his record, "Can We Talk?" It's like a challenge song, man. In fact, I heard that record last night, man. I went to Universal Soul Circus last night. And that was one of the songs that they played. The place was like a big choir. Can we talk?
Everybody singing.
Yes. Yeah.
Now wait a minute, Teddy. I want you to know, and I want everybody that's listening or watching, that me and my wife had a deal. If we had a girl, she had a chance to name the girl. But if it was going to be a boy, I was going to name the boy. And the boy was going to be Gregory Tevin Campbell. Gregory Tevin Roberts.
Yeah.
That T was going to stand for Tevin.
Gregory T. Gregory T. Roberts. I feel you.
It was gonna be Tevin. I was happy to have a girl, but I was sad because I wanted it to be Tevin.
You were counting on Tevin.
I was counting on Tevin. It is 2:49. We are talking to Teddy Astin. His book is extensive. The website is wonderful. Let's talk about me personally, because I've got to talk about Al Jarreau.
Okay.
Oh.
Great Al Jarreau story.
One of my the favorite artists, Al Jarreau. Any stories about him?
Well, I've got a couple of stories about Al Jarreau, but I'm going to go with my favorite. I got a couple of favorite ones, but this is one of my favorites. We're in Memphis, Tennessee. Al Jarreau and David Sanborn toured together.
Yes.
Great. They're managed by the same manager, Patrick Raines, okay? So we were in Memphis, Tennessee, big venue, nice venue called Mud Island. They did a couple of sold-out interviews there, so we get back to the hotel. Everybody wants to know what we're going to do. But the hotel is a story in itself. The hotel is called the Peabody Hotel. Don't know if anybody ever heard of it. But the Peabody Hotel is famous for the ducks. The Ducks live in the penthouse, okay?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
every morning, I guess 8:30, 9 o'clock, the big majorette would go up to the penthouse to get the Ducks. The Ducks, he got his whatever. He's coming.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah. So he's coming down. So they closes off one of the elevators for the majorette and the Ducks. He gets off the elevator in his big outfit, and the Ducks is right behind him, marching. He marched the Ducks to the water fountain. The Ducks jump in the water fountain till around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then he comes back down and parade them right back up to the penthouse. So the hotel is known for the duck, the peep out of hotel in Memphis.
So
Yep.
when you say,
The
not
duck.
a group of ducks, actual ducks.
Ducks. Yeah,
Yeah.
ducks.
I
Real
thought you were
ducks.
I thought you were a group the ducks. I'm like, I never heard of the ducks.
They train them. They train them.
Wow.
You can probably see them on YouTube. I bet they got videos of them on YouTube.
I've actually seen it. Yes.
Yeah. So, so basically, Al Jarreau, David Sanborn, we're back at the Peabody Hotel. Like, Teddy, we're gonna do tonight. Close to 11 o'clock, and I'm like, so my promotion manager, one of my managers, lived in Memphis. So I said, Jared, what do you suggest we do tonight? He said, well, what about Beale Street? Beale Street is like Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Beale Street is to Memphis.
Right.
So the hotel is only a couple of blocks from Beale Street. So we go to Beale Street. Now, here's the irony of the story. Me, my promotion manager, Jerry Washington, Al Jarreau, and David Sanborn, okay? We head out. No posse, no security, and no drama. And we go out and have a good time every club on Beale Street all night long.
Wow.
You know, because a lot of these new artists you see, you know, just for them to go to the mall, they got 40 people following them.
Right.
You know, so we could do it. I'm talking about two superstars.
Yes.
We can do it. Be among people, talk, laugh, have fun, dance, have a drink or two, you know, and not have to worry about all that drama. I got another Al Jarreau story. So when I left Warner Brothers, I opened up a nightclub in underground Atlanta called Teddy's Live.
Okay.
So I get a phone call one day. Ring. Mr. Teddy, it's Mr. Al Jarreau's on the phone. He said, so I said, okay, be right with him. Hey, Al, how you doing? Teddy, tell me it's not so. Tell me it's not true. What's not true? He said, they told me you left Warner Brothers. He said, did you? He said, yeah, I've been gone a couple of months. He said, I was talking to David Sanborn today and Patrick Raines, and they said, look, Teddy's gone. Warner Brothers will never be the same.
Wow.
And that was an understatement because I had so many artists to tell me that.
Is that right?
Said Warner Brothers would never be the same. So as I left, man, they cut half of these artists, dropped them from the roster.
Wow.
Teddy, I got to ask you this question because we only have a couple more minutes. You worked in the industry when music was music.
Yes.
This stuff today, how do you feel about this music today?
Well, you have to keep an open mind about music. And you got to keep in mind that we're in a different era. And 2 or 3 generations away from the era of the artist, of the music that I work, you know, and I have to promote and market. And I have to respect every format of music that I hear, you know, because hip hop, you know what? You remember when the disco phase came in? It's disco will phase out, and it did. They said the same thing about rap. Rap gonna go be here for a minute. It's gonna phase out. Nope. It's here. Rap right now, hip hop primarily rules radio, mainstream. You know, and so for the urban AC radio stations, you know, most of them are only playing oldies, some like the music we're talking about, and it kind of locks out your mainstream R&B artists because they ain't got nowhere to go.
Right.
Harder for them to get their music played. And if you for R&B artists to get their music played on a hip hop radio station, the record has to be so big it has
Yes.
it has crossed over.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you're very seldom going to hear the same record on a hip hop station and an urban AC station.
Mm.
You know, so some of it I like, some of it don't make sense.
You know
But
what?
I respect it. You know what I mean?
I was thinking maybe I'm getting old because a lot of it I don't understand. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Right, but if you ask your son, your daughter,
They love it.
and their
They love it.
generations, you know, the generation before, they
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it.
Melvin
You
Burns.
know, well,
Yeah.
you know, and plus with me, I like listening to music depending on the mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's hip hop, whether it's country and western, whether it's rock and roll, you know, at times I like all of it.
Yeah.
You know, still a big country and western fan.
Going
I
back
still
to
like that. I still like that Twain.
going back to
I'm a little strange sometimes.
going back to Benita. She said, "If I could understand the words, I hear your sister."
Yeah, we from the words.
I hear
We
you
from the
too,
words
sister.
generation.
You know, when you can't get the word, just hopefully you can feel the beat.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Because if you can't feel the groove, the words ain't gonna make no sense anyway. You know, so
2
because
minutes left.
okay.
2 minutes, Teddy. We have to have you come back.
Yes.
What do you say to that young kid that wants to get into the industry?
Well, I would say to him, if that's what your dream is, you know, you need to pursue it. You know, don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do.
All right.
You know, but whatever you decide, whether you're going to be a lawyer, doctor, engineer, radio host, you got to put 100% into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because and whatever you're doing, you want to kind of be yourself. You want to be different. You want to kind of set the standard for yourself.
Well,
It's okay to, if you're going to do an album, to kind of like mimic a few artists here, sample some stuff there. But you got to be true to yourself because you got to know that you're trying to sell yourself and you can't necessarily sell yourself sounding like somebody else.
wow.
You know what I mean? And the other thing about it, when you do it, put it up on YouTube, market it on all your social media outlets, because that's where a lot of new artists are found on social media.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Give us the book name again. How people can get a hold of the book.
Okay, again, the name of my book is Teddy Astin. That's my name, Teddy Astin, Astin. That's my name. And the name of the book is A Golden Past and a Platinum Future. Now, you can go to my website, www.toughfact.net, TOUGHACT.net. If you forget it, all you got to do is say, hey, that's a tough act to follow. That was a good interview. That's a tough act to follow when you own Gregory and Pastor Burns show. That Teddy Astin is a tough act to follow. So, so the book. So each page on the website will take you directly to Amazon. Okay,
Oh.
the hardback was just released.
Mhm.
Go there, look at the table of contents. Look at, find out who the author is. You'll be able to see who all the artists that I worked with over the year. You'll be able to see the Gold and Platinum album. You'll be able to see the award for community service that I received from President Joseph Biden. So again, toughfact.net, TOUGHACT.net. The name of the book is A Golden Pass, PAS. A golden past PAST and a platinum future. And Gregory and Pastor Burns, I really appreciate you guys having me on your show today. I'm looking forward to this again in the very near future. And I had a ball. I thank you very much for letting me be on your show.
Listen, we're gonna do this again. I'm going to Benita. Last words. You are refreshingly amazing, phenomenal segment. Could not agree more. Pastor Burns, final words go to you.
Mr. Astin, thank you for music to me, my family, my daughter, my ex-girlfriends. Everybody has enjoyed over the years. Thank you.
Thank you. You're
And the
very welcome.
same thing for me. Listen, people, it's the weekend. Go out and sow a seed, a positive seed in somebody's life. We will have them on for a part 2.
Yes.
Take care. This has been 22 for May 20th, 2002. Take care.